In the final hours of 1989, Major General Kenneth Kramer is found dead from a heart attack in a rundown North Carolina motel, apparently while accompanied by a prostitute. Army MP Major Jack Reacher is assigned to investigate and quickly suspects that the woman with Kramer stole his briefcase. Ordered by his superior, Colonel Leon Garber, to inform Kramer's wife of his death, Reacher travels with Lieutenant Summer, a competent and driven female officer, to the general's home in Virginia, only to discover signs of a break-in and Mrs. Kramer's murdered body. To uncover the mystery behind the missing briefcase, Reacher returns to the bar near the motel in hopes of identifying the supposed prostitute. There he encounters Delta Force operative Christopher Carbone and soon gets into a violent scuffle with a bouncer after discovering the man had assaulted one of the dancers Reacher was questioning. Reacher breaks the bouncer's knee in retaliation. Later, the motel's night clerk reveals that a military vehicle was seen leaving the area after Kramer's death. Reacher concludes that the woman in question is not a civilian, but rather a female Army officer. Reacher's digging brings him into contact with Colonel Coomer and Brigadier General Vassell, both of whom were close associates of Kramer. They seem most concerned with recovering the briefcase, but abruptly leave after Reacher brings up Mrs. Kramer's death. Tension escalates when Carbone turns up dead, murdered in a way suggesting he was gay, possibly to mask the real motive. Then Garber is suddenly transferred to South Korea, replaced by Colonel Willard, a manipulative bureaucrat who pressures Reacher to close the investigation, warning him of a complaint filed by Carbone, accusing Reacher of assaulting the bouncer. Willard threatens to use it to pin Carbone's murder on Reacher if he doesn't back off. Shortly thereafter, David Brubaker, Carbone's commanding officer, is found shot dead in a Columbia, South Carolina alley, with cash and heroin planted on him. Reacher suspects both murders are tied to the theft of the conference agenda that had been in Kramer's briefcase. Despite denials from Coomer and Vassell that such an agenda even existed, Reacher continues to pursue the truth while Willard intensifies the pressure. Amid the investigation, Reacher receives a call from his brother Joe, informing him that their mother Josephine has died of cancer in Paris. After attending the funeral with Summer, Reacher returns to the U.S. with a renewed sense of purpose. Using his military contacts, Reacher secures a confidential meeting with the Army Chief of Staff, where he learns the broader context behind the deaths. With the Soviet Union on the brink of collapse, the Army plans to downsize its armored divisions in favor of infantry. Kramer and a group of high-ranking officers were conspiring to sabotage this reorganization through a covert PR and lobbying campaign, aiming to preserve their power and privileges. The chief had foreseen a possible coup attempt and covertly dispatched 20 elite investigators, including Reacher, using forged orders from Garber to thwart any subversion from within. He also reveals that the Secretary of Defense was involved in the plot. Reacher pieces together that Kramer was secretly gay and that he met Carbone at the motel the night he died. Carbone stole the briefcase and involved Brubaker, who then learned of its contents. To avoid exposure, Carbone had Reacher set up using the assault complaint. Coomer and Vassell, desperate to retrieve the briefcase, orchestrated a handoff involving their subordinate, Major Marshall, who murdered Carbone, then Brubaker, and later Mrs. Kramer, whom he killed in a fit of jealousy over her husband's secret relationship. Reacher heads to California, where he arrests Vassell and Coomer for conspiracy to commit murder. He then tracks Marshall to a firing range in the Mojave Desert, where the Major attempts suicide by directing tank fire toward himself. Reacher shoots him in the shoulder, stopping the attempt and taking him into custody. The stolen conference agenda is later found in Carbone's billet, revealing a chilling plot to assassinate 18 rising infantry officers, crippling the modernization efforts of the post-Cold War Army. The conspirators are court-martialed and sentenced to life imprisonment. Though cleared of wrongdoing in the case, Reacher is told that unless he denies the assault charge filed by the now-deceased Carbone, he will be demoted to captain. His lawyer encourages him to deny it, but Reacher chooses to accept the charge. Recognizing that he did, in fact, injure the bouncer and wishing not to further tarnish Carbone's memory, he embraces his return to frontline service rather than a political career. Before accepting his new post, Reacher pays a final visit to Colonel Willard. In a move that blurs his rigid code, He executes Willard in his own home and plants drugs to cover his tracks. The story concludes with Reacher reflecting on the strange turns of fate, noting that he never saw Summer again, though he later heard she had been promoted to captain. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos.